My name is Marie Louise Fry, and every time I pass by this beautiful stone building on East 4th Street in South Bethlehem, I can't help but recall memories of my origin. Like so many adults my age, I am the great-grandchild of immigrants. In my case, the immigrants came from a tiny town in Italy, known as Montecalvo Irpino. This family story begins with a man named Pasquale Castiello. My maternal great-grandfather, Pasquale, was born in tiny Montecalvo Irpino, where he was taught the stonemason's trade. He was skillful enough to be in demand at a fairly young age. Like so many young men living in rural Italy, he saw few real opportunities to thrive economically. In addition, his father unwittingly triggered Pasquale's desire to leave his home when he took a coat which Pasquale purchased in an attempt to impress women in the town square. So at the tender age of 17, he impulsively decided to come to America. He had heard the stories of plentiful opportunities for ambitious men. He arrived in New York, was processed, and ended up in the borough of Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. He quickly found work as a mason and was soon employed on projects ranging from constructing stone retaining walls to more impressive jobs, including the construction of grand churches. In a way, his trade led him to the city where he would make a name for himself and build a family. While working on the Church of Saints Cyril and Methodius, he fell in love with South Bethlehem and with a young woman named Anna Maria Lanza. By 1894, Pasquale was married and he had become a U.S. citizen. Eventually, Pasquale, his wife, and new family settled in the 700 block of East 5th Street. To say Grandpop was ambitious would be an understatement. Within a relatively brief time, this human dynamo recognized all the possibilities in his adoptive home that were absent in Italy. He and Grammy were soon running a small grocery store, a bakery, and even a notary service at this location. Soon, he had a payroll of 12 people. Recognizing a real need for newly arrived Italians in America for banking services, he established Castiello's Bank on 4th and Fillmore Streets, not too far from his home. That bank gave other immigrants opportunities that he himself found difficult to obtain when he arrived here years earlier. He made it easier for immigrants to borrow money and to receive other banking services. That bank thrived until the stock market crash and the Great Depression. Pasquale's bank suffered the same fate as so many other banks of the period in the 1930s. As a result, he lost practically everything he had painstakingly built. Pasquale ensured that none of his depositors lost a penny. My great-grandparents were blessed with 15 children, 8 boys and 7 girls. 4 children died very young. Pasquale was a natural leader, as evidenced by his membership in so many clubs and societies. Because of his civic involvement, he labored to learn to communicate in English. He was a somewhat progressive man for his generation. He was the proud owner of one of South Bethlehem's earliest passenger cars. By 1932, he was riding in a beautiful Packard automobile, considered a top-of-the-line model. The car seated 7 and cost Pop nearly $5,000, quite a princely sum back then. My grandfather was a man of few words, but he deeply loved his church and his family. He was also very generous. Many a newly arrived immigrant found lodging in the dormitory he had built behind his store. He even stored their money for them in his home safe, providing receipts. In 1944, Pasquale Castiello caught pneumonia and died at age 75. And so ended his personal story, that of a simple and humble man who rose to prominence in his adopted country, heights unimaginable for a young man from Montecalvo, Irpino. My great-grandmother was a diligent student in Italy, studying to become a teacher. By her early teens, she received awards for her scholastic aptitude. She even became fluent in English at this time. In her home country and in this era, higher education was rare, especially for girls. At about the time she was set to begin high school, Anna Maria's life was about to change greatly. Her father, Angelo, had gone to America in an attempt to establish a life in the New World. He planned all along to send for his family. Anna joined the rest of her family in America, residing in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Although the Lanza and Castiello families were probably somewhat familiar with each other, having come from such a small commune in Italy, Pasquale and Anna Maria officially met in America. According to family legend, Pasquale knew Angelo and accompanied him to pick up his newly arrived family. It was love at first sight when young Pasquale first saw lovely Anna Maria. Pasquale was so smitten that he would walk to Allentown from Catasauqua just to see her. Pasquale and Anna Maria married on October 8th, 1894, in Easton. He was 25, his bride was 19. During their marriage, Anna Maria lost 4 children to various illnesses. My great-grandmother's education put her in a position to provide rather unique services for less educated Italian women in the community. Anna could read and was bilingual, so the other women needed her to read the letters they received from Italy. In addition to establishing a store and a bakery, Anna Maria handled legal documents as a notary would. She would authenticate documents, then send them to an Italian consul in Scranton. She did all of this while raising her large brood, baking bread, and tending her store. Following my great-grandfather's death, Anna Maria moved in with her daughter Louise, then later with another daughter, Rose. Anna Maria Castiello passed away in 1958 at age 82. As I recall the story of my great-grandparents, I am left with a sense of awe and pride. It never ceases to amaze me, the courage that it must have taken for them to leave their home country and all that they had known, and to travel to a new world with no assurances. The language and cultural differences must have been daunting, yet they forged ahead with little support from their new country. In fact, they were trailblazers who learned the new customs, adapted to a different society, and were very entrepreneurial in their attitude. They saw America as a land of opportunity, and they took full advantage, purchasing a home, establishing small businesses, and then reaching out to new arrivals by extending a helping hand by providing lodging, and later through the establishment of a bank. My great-grandparents passed along their faith, their determination, and their work ethic to all of us who followed, and I am forever grateful.